she sometimes steps away from the group she's part of and make it look like, say, every single person in the group she's part of is stupid. She's the only wise one. And that is my biggest problem with Madam Sophia Akuffo. Madam Sophia Akuffo has served in a very good capacity as the former Chief Justice. And I don't expect Madam Sophia Akuffo to be speaking only on emotions or speaking based on what we call her feelings about something. I expect to say, from what she has been through, her experience as a former Chief Justice, she wouldn't speak based on emotions, but she will speak on facts. She will speak to debunk facts. She will speak to make her case using the facts to prove to Yeni Ghana for to say she is not just an ordinary state person or state woman. She is a state woman with enormous intelligence, experience when it comes to addressing fundamental laws, and I say the Constitution and how we are supposed to approach its discussion. But it is looking like, say, Madam Sophia Akuffo has thrown away all the experience, all the knowledge she picked as a former Chief Justice. She has dumped that somewhere, and she's going on this very slippery route. It is all about how she feels, her feelings, how she knows somebody, but she has forgotten to analyze the issues based on facts. Since Madam Sophia Akuffo started speaking on Tokonu's dismissal and sack from the judiciary, she has not stated any facts. Emma Nasam is looking unique and different from the ordinary Ghanaian on the streets. Sometimes when she speaks and you listen, you ask yourself, say, does she even have any law background? Has she learned the law? Does she understand that before you speak against the Constitution, before you disagree with the laws or due process, you need to have a counterfactual argument to prove, say, your case you are making, that is the reason why you do not agree to a specific decision that has been taken. And recently, since Madam Tokonu was sacked, I have seen that this woman has dropped from where she used to be, how we used to see her, the respect people like us used to give her, because at a point, she sat on TV and told some people that they have pin brain. But some of her utterances, her submissions on the sack of Tokonu, it is looking more like she is basically putting herself in the pin brain family. With all due respect, I respect this woman a lot. Now, these are some of the things she said about the Madam Tokonu issue, sacking her as the Chief Justice and also as a judge in Ghana. These are some of her statements. Or say, they or the allegations contained in petition lack the gravity that will lead to a grave outcome, such as the removal of the head of an institution of justice. Now, if you say the allegations contained in the petition, now, Madam Tokonu was given every room to defend herself. In fact, the president, when he received the petition, he actually gave Madam Tokonu 10 days, even though now Madam Tokonu asked for just 7 days. Madam Tokonu was given the room to look at the petition, the allegations in the petition. And you as a judge, when people enter your courtroom, there is a reason why you give them the room to go for a lawyer, to express themselves, defend themselves with the facts, to prove their innocence. The process gave Tokonu all the room to prove her innocence. That is why Tokonu went for a lawyer. In fact, she went for 2 MPP lawyers. That is why the president gave Tokonu enough time to study the allegations in the petition. So you cannot just say that the petition, what are the allegations that were contained in the petition, they lack gravity. On what basis are you able to prove that they lack gravity? Were you or do you have any counter facts to prove that the allegations that were contained in the petition lacked gravity? It is upon Tokonu and her lawyers to prove to the committee that the allegations lacked it, unless you have other ideas, unless you don't want to respect due process, unless you are being mischievous as a former Chief Justice who understands how the law works and how people are given the room to defend themselves. And when I heard her speak like this, I felt so bad. I felt like the woman that I respect is forcing herself to be part of the pin brain people that she has been referring to. Because if I make such statement, I have to make it. You can sit anywhere else and say, this guy, he does not have the know-how. He does not have the expertise. He does not have any knowledge about law. He has not been a lawyer before. He's not a judge. He has never sat in any high-profile case. So we can give it to him. But you, when you make such vague a statement without proving that the allegations in the petition, the gravity lacked what you say, it lacked that gravity. It means you are speaking out of emotions. You are making a moral argument. You are not making a factual argument. And moral argument can be made by anyone. But factual argument, it's always made by people who are intelligent enough to separate Gary from rice. So, but you as a person, I respect you, especially with the baggage you carry as an ex-Chief Justice and a legal professional, somebody who knows the law. Now, Osaka Sembi, Momianko tie in Sembia or Kafa a yet talk on Wasam. Be we are not sure why this woman is forcing herself to be grouped or to be added to the pin brain people she has been referring to.
I'm very sad about it. It has really saddened me. And maybe in a way, I feel very distressed by it. Yes.
Mm. In terms of the conclusion that was reached, where the matter has journeyed from, is the sadness as a result of the conclusion, or you have questions about the procedure that took place before that?
The sadness is about the whole process. My sadness is because as far as I'm concerned, it was a very unnecessary. We have been taken through a very unnecessary situation, and which, as far as I'm concerned, and that is my honest and candid view, this has so weakened the institution of the judiciary. It's not so much the individual who occupies the position. It is the institution. That is what I'm concerned about.
Mm. I mean, what informs the conclusion that it's an unnecessary process? I mean, we have heard even government spokesperson make the point that a petition was sent, a committee in line with the constitution was set up, they've looked into the matter and they've come to a conclusion. Which aspect of it, what specifically makes that necessary?
I think that, you see, there has always been something wrong with Article 146. And particularly with the procedure that it sets out, and especially as it regards the position of the Chief Justice. In the Ajay case, I took the opportunity to reflect on that weakness that I noticed. And are these and these are not so, to me, they lack the gravity. They lack the gravity that would lead to a grave outcome, such as the removal of the head of an institution of justice. Mm. I've deliberately phrased myself that way. It trivializes the position, and I wonder what this is going to lead to further